It look like we might have catch some a little bit of rain this week. We need it here in the Charleston area, man. Jeez, it's been drought-like lately. And for everybody who don't have those irrigation systems in place, their lawn has been suffering because they're waiting on the rain and they're not irrigating like they should. So the lawns are looking a little bit rough. Luckily, a lot of my clients who we do with, sod installation, things like that, they're doing pretty well. They're being consistent on their watering pattern because I'm on their neck like, hey, it's dry out here. This lawn is a plant. This grass is a plant. It needs water, water. But I'm actually headed off to an estimate. After I do the estimate, I need to grab the aerator. I got a few aerations lined up today. I stacked a few up, knock out those aerations. Then I have an abundance amount of computer work that I need to get back to. I do have some, I got this neighbor that's been, I did a lawn renovation for her front yard, and she has me, not to say she's pulling my arm, forcing me to do anything or nothing like that, but she just started asking me millions of questions about other stuff, like, hey, if I bought this 5-pound Andina, because I watched your YouTube video, she's like, if I bought this 5-pound Andina, I was going to get about 7 of them, put them up in the front here and kind of stagger them. You think these will work? I was like, yeah, they're amazing. They look good year round. You give year round interest. It's a dwarf nature plant. It doesn't get as tall. So she loved the expertise. And man, this lady been hitting me up like crazy. Like, she messaged me like 4 times yesterday. And once she messaged me the 4th time, I gave her a call. She's like, you hard to reach than Donald Trump. She's like, well, Donald Trump probably be easier to reach than you. I was like, dang, like that. I said, no. She said, I'm harder to reach than the president. And that's not true. I've provided a service for her already, and I'm treating her lawn at the moment, and it's more so, I don't want to get pulled in each and every direction. I'm trying to stay on course. I don't mind giving you information and insight on the thing, but now she's like, oh, can you come over and put the plants in? Oh, well, I want my backyard resodded. Okay, you want your backyard redone? Cool. I'll entertain that piece because that's the scope of what I do, and I'm trying not to get too caught up in the weeds of all the miscellaneous tasks, like installing plants and stuff like that. It's cool. I'm a landscaper, what we talking about, but I'm trying to stay focused on the weed control and sod installation. So I'm trying not to let something that I don't do day in, day out take up my time as far as installing plants. Anywho, she did have a layout. Sometimes people, like, not to say they're hoarders or nothing like that, but sometimes they have so many plants, and they do have to be, the placement has to be a certain way for them to look nice, period. Like, and sometimes, like, she's like, hey, first of all, she got the 5-pound Andinas, right? And she texted me, she said, hey, I got the 5-pound Andinas. Can you let me know when you can install them, right? This is like on 6 p.m. Next morning, she already installed. I texted her next morning because I had to look at my schedule. Text her next morning and say, hey, I'll be able to install the Andinas tomorrow. If you would like, I can stop by at 9 a.m. She was like, I've already installed them, but you can still come by and take a look at them and see if they're in the right positioning. I'm like, geez, it's springtime. I get it. Spring itch. Everybody want to get their plants in the ground. It's fast, etc. But she already has so many different plants. She got sunshine ligustrums. She got Mexican petunias. She got all type of stuff, and it looked nice. It's simple, but adding more and stuff like that, it can get really crowded. And I was telling her, you have to understand the nature of these type of plants. Like, for instance, she has no evergreens. It's like, hold on, your landscape does look, it look decent, but you're missing an evergreen. You don't have no evergreen to make these yellow sunshine ligustrums really pop. Like, you need some foundational, hedges, even if they're not, one long big hedge. At least get some soft touch hollies or some Yopon holly, something that's a slow grower that you can shape and it look nice. She don't want anything that flowers. She don't want anything that flowers because she don't want any I guess insects and stuff like that around. She said, bees and stuff get attracted and lizards attracted to them. She don't want any insects around. But I thought it was pretty funny. But she was missing something that was foundational as far as green. She need I feel like you need green in a landscape. It gives that contrast. So if she got a yellow shrub, she got firepower Nandina that's gonna eventually be orange, red, yellow, and also green, because it changes colors throughout the different seasons. Like the fall, it turns red, winter is red. It's like orange throughout the fall because it's transitioning with the temperatures. But pretty cool plant, and it's dwarf nature, right? So it don't get over 3 feet. It's like 2 feet high. I think she got it at a foot right now, but it's not something that needs to be trimmed and stuff like that so frequent. So when I tell her, when I went over there and I looked at the landscape, she put all the firepower Nandinas along the back side of, like, close to the house versus closer to the viewpoint. And I'm like, that ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work, because what happens is you have sunshine ligustrums in front of those. Sunshine ligustrums can get pretty big. They can get taller, definitely taller than a 5-pound Nandina. So I was like, she needs to move those 5-pound Nandinas literally to the front. It's like, I feel like she need a 4-tier type of landscape, meaning she got at the very close to the house, she has green shrubs, something that's evergreen that's going to look good throughout the full year. The second layer, she can either have her sunshine ligustrums, and then she have like some they're not Mexican petunias, I think they're Mexican heathers or something, I believe. She can have those as the third tier close to the front, and then her first tier would be between the first and second tier kind of stagger and be close together, but it would be the firepower Nandina and the Mexican heather, those two. But she got a decent amount of plants, and then she's putting a Japanese maple in there as a focal point, like on the corner of her house. I know it has potential to look nice, but she put them in the wrong place because she was impatient. And I told her, hey, those are in the wrong place. I say, and plus, like, nobody's gonna see them. You got them things in the back. Like, these things don't get big. They won't get big. And the other plants in front of it hiding it. You don't want to hide something that you just went and purchased. These plants cost like $50 a piece, and you don't want to hide them. You want them to be on front display so people can admire them and see them throughout, the transitional period of the year. But anywho, cool lady. Oh man, I gotta visit her property after. That's how I got on this subject. I gotta visit her property sometime this day after I get all this other stuff situated. Gotta run my regular route as far as what I already set out to do. And then I have my wife with me, my co-pilot, my partner in crime. She'll be with me just watching my moves, really. Because I told her, like, it's one thing to, me to understand a lot of stuff. I feel like a second to, watch my moves, see where I'm, what I'm miscommunicating about when it comes to clients, see where I'm setting myself up if I'm, when it comes to my disorganization. Because I'm not opposed to somebody, shadowing to improve, everything. But building a system, building a team, it requires documentation far as we need to document the process. Because this goes step by step, People need to know, okay, we go visit a property. Okay, we capture the measurements, communicate with the client. We get the estimate sent out within 24 to 48 hours, depending on what's included within the project. Just all it's a lot of details, y'all. I feel like it's a lot of detail. Even though it's simple, it needs to be organized to where if I was to pass off a sheet to somebody, they can pretty much know where to pick up from and know what to do. But yeah. But let me get back to it, because as you know, stuck in this amazing morning traffic. I'm supposed to be to this place at 9 minutes away, so I'll be on time still. I wish I was a little bit earlier, but I'll make it do what it do. This client, this prospect has selected that their budget is $5,000 to $10,000. Sometimes people just put information, but I was on the fence yesterday about taking that specific part out of my screening process, asking people what their budget is, because in reality, sometimes people just don't know what this stuff costs. Like, they don't know what a full, they don't know what it costs. They just don't know. So to give you a price, they're giving you a price based on what they don't know, unless they do. They can do a little research now. People can't be too numb to do some research, because at the end of the day, we're in an information age. You can pick up your phone and type in on Google, how much does it cost to do a lawn renovation, and it'll give you a bracketed price point, based on square footage, etc. So it's not something that's extremely hard to get, but based on their local environment, based off of, not just based on online stuff that they've seen, because that can vary based on location, and information be coming across from any and everywhere when it's online. It don't necessarily be local based, but yeah, I feel like I ain't gonna tired, y'all. I'm tired, but I gotta keep at it. I feel like people should already know. People should have an idea of what it would cost when it comes to, before you even visit the property. And I feel like a lot of people do their due diligence. I feel as if I'm hoping over this next week, each week, I need to keep pushing out informative content for my business so that I can attract people naturally. That's literally what I desire to do, because the people who I attract naturally, they'll understand what goes into what I do. And I like people who want to know, who like us in the know, because it just saves headache not to say headache, but it saves time explaining something that, that's, I guess, already explained. But let me get going, y'all, because I'm almost about to pull up.